What's up, future millionaires? It's Mike the Investor. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the partnership between the Tron blockchain and the USDC stablecoin, which is owned by the company called Circle. And I really think this is a big deal, and I haven't heard really anyone talk about this. This was actually announced a couple months ago, the month of July of this year. And so what we're going to be covering in this video is the partnership between Tron and USDC. Secondly, why I think this is important, and then thirdly, some potential possibilities that I could potentially see for Tron. And so before diving into it, definitely take advantage of grabbing some free Bitcoin by using the Voyager and BlockFi link down below, where you can earn passive income just for holding your cryptocurrencies on those platforms. Now let's get ready to dive right into it. Alright, crypto investors, welcome back to the channel. Now there are timestamps down below, of course, if you do want to look at some specific parts in this video. But let's go ahead and look at the announcement between Tron and the USDC stablecoin. And so we can see here, this actually came out July 1st, 2021. Circle now supports the USDC stablecoin on Tron. Now Tron is the leading blockchain for the Tether stablecoin, which is the largest stablecoin currently. I do see USDC overtaking it though, and so Tron is now the USDC's 5th network. I think this is pretty big, and so let's scroll down here. So Circle says making USDC available on Tron will expand the stablecoin's availability to millions of users across Asia. Now the USDC Central Consortium was considering up to 10 more blockchains. This stablecoin is currently native to 4 blockchains, which is Ethereum, Algorand, Stellar, and Solana. No coincidence, right? And so now Tron is the 5th blockchain that now supports the USDC stablecoin. I definitely think this is a big deal. Now Circle also says that an integration for the Tezos blockchain will be coming soon for the USDC stablecoin. I also think that is big for that blockchain, which is also going to give it more utility. Now this here, the numbers will be a little bit off at the time of this article, but it says Tron is the leading venue for Tether stablecoin. There's roughly 32 billion on Tron and 31 billion on Ethereum. And so as we move down here, this is coming from the CEO of Circle, 𝗕𝗓𝗓 himself. He says that Tron has built a very large and highly successful blockchain platform and network, and is one of the most widely used in stablecoin transactions. And so he says we are excited to bring the benefits of a trusted dollar digital currency such as the USDC stablecoin to the growing ecosystem of users and developers. Alright, so that is the announcement between Tron and the USDC stablecoin, but I want to show you one more thing about this as well. Check this out. So we can see that the USDC stablecoin could soon expand to 10 more blockchains. Now we know there's 4, but before Tron was added, there was only 4. So let me scroll down and just show you something here that's pretty interesting. And so the USDC stablecoin is now native to 4 blockchains and could soon be up to 8 to 10 more networks. Now, we anticipate that the coming months for USDC will become available on Avalanche, Celo, Flow, 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗑𝗑, Nervous, Polkadot, Stacks, Tezos, and Tron. Now, out of these 10, we can see that Tron was the 5th added blockchain. I think that was done by design. They're not just picking these blockchains out of a hat, right? Now listen to what Circle says real fast. Now check out what Circle says. We anticipate that the USDC on these blockchain platforms and multi-chain protocols will further accelerate the use of the world's fastest growing digital dollar currency. USDC was launched to Ethereum in 2018. It expanded to Algorand, Stellar, and Solana the second half of 2020. And now the 5th blockchain is Tron. This is not done by accident. This is done by design. So this integration for Tron and other blockchains that support the USDC stablecoin, I definitely think is something to pay attention to, right? And so if we briefly look at Circle's website, Here you can see these are the 5 blockchains as well. They have them actually listed on their website. This is completely legit. Ethereum, Algorand, Solana, Stellar, and Tron. This is pretty big in my personal opinion. And so now let's talk about why this is important. When we look at stablecoins is the foundation for the payment infrastructure for crypto. We need that stable asset that we can use to buy goods and services and exchange money from one another, peer to peer, right? And so this is why stablecoins is so important. And not only that, here's a second reason why stablecoins is so important. When we look at the announcement that happened with Visa, the first major payment processor network who now will settle transactions in USDC payments. This is major. Visa has the most market share when it comes to, payment processors, credit cards, and all of that good stuff. And so when it goes to saying, I'm going to accept USDC, that right there gives it a stamp of approval. And so when you look at the blockchains that USDC or Circle has partnered with to choose to say, hey, we want our USDC to run on this blockchain. This is very important. And one other major thing that I want to touch on about Circle and USDC. I want to give you a quick connection here because I'm real big on connecting the dots and following the money. So some of you may know of Grayscale before you know of Digital Currency Group. Well, Digital Currency Group is the parent company of Grayscale. And Grayscale currently is the largest digital asset holder manager in the world. And so Digital Currency Group actually helped fund Circle to go mainstream with $25 million. Let me just briefly show you the headline of this article. So you can see that Circle gives $25 million from DCG to drive USDC mainstream. DCG is short for Digital Currency Group. And let me show you something here real quick. Digital Currency Group, here's 𝗪𝗬𝗪 here, founder. You can see Digital Currency Group is a venture capital firm that invests solely in digital currency industry. Digital Currency has 3 subsidiaries: CoinDesk, digital currency brokerage firm Genesis, and then also digital asset management firm Grayscale Investments. And let me just show you the connection. Digital Currency Group, we're on the website here, and let me scroll down just to show you their subsidiaries: Genesis, Grayscale, you got CoinDesk, Foundry, Luno. This is the connection here. This is how you find the money. And so the reason why I showed you that, this kind of leads us into now some potential possibilities for Tron. I haven't heard any of this happening, but when you look at the connections between Grayscale and Digital Currency Group, they're kind of one and the same, because Digital Currency Group is the parent company of Grayscale, right? And so when we look at what Grayscale invests in, Digital Currency Group is investing in that as well. And so when we look at partnerships with DCG, it kind of connects as well with Grayscale, right? Because it is the parent company. They have that partnership and connection. And so when you look at these type of companies, they all have the same common goal: to expand crypto adoption. And so let's just briefly do a recap on the 3 things on why I think this is important. 1, you have the USDC stablecoins. I think this is the foundation of the payment, in e-commerce, and the entire retail industry is stablecoins. Secondly, you have Visa, which is basically setting the bar for more adoption, for more payment processors, for more companies, for more, organizations to accept USDC, because the largest payment processors said, hey, we believe in it and we trust USDC, and we're also going to accept our consumers to pay their transactions in USDC. That's a pretty big deal. And then thirdly, when I just showed you the connection between Digital Currency Group and Grayscale, Digital Currency Group helped fund Circle to get USDC mainstream. And so that shows you the big money behind the curtain, who's also helping fund this huge project. And so one thing to keep in mind as well about these 5 blockchains, they have some similar things that they are tackling. When we look at the smart contract, they are all implementing that. When we look at DeFi, they are all implementing that. When we look at NFTs, they're all implementing that. And now when we look at, they all support the USDC stablecoin. You know what I'm saying? This is not done by coincidence. This is done by design. And so if you can connect the dots, follow the money, build out quantity and positions that you feel is going to be here. And this is how we follow the money, by connecting the dots, how we just did in this video. And so now let's kind of talk about some potential possibilities that I could potentially see for Tron. Now, this is not financial advice because I haven't heard this or researched it anywhere, but with the connections, we could potentially see this happening. So the first potential possibility could be Visa could now also add Tron to that partnership, because when we looked at the partnership that happened a while ago, Visa's partnered with Ethereum, Solana, Algorand, and Stellar. Well, now Tron supports the USDC as well, so I could definitely see that happening down the line. Number two, I could potentially see maybe a grayscale fund for Tron, because when we think about it, USDC, Circle, and digital currency group Grayscale, they are not going to put the USDC stablecoin on Tron if they feel this blockchain is not going to be here when the smoke clears. That's just how I personally feel. And since they are the 5th blockchain as well, out of the 12,000 plus cryptocurrencies that you can invest in, this says a lot. And so the third thing that could potentially happen for Tron could be the USDC takeover. And what I mean by that is Tron right now holds the most far as Tether on that blockchain. Well, what if people just started converting all of their Tether over to USDC? That would now make Tron the largest USDC holder far as blockchains, far as what blockchain supported. And if that happened, imagine what will happen to the price of Tron, right? Imagine what will happen to the credibility of Tron, right? And so these are things that could potentially happen. And so now, kind of as we talk about some closing thoughts, I truly believe that some people are going to miss out on a project like Tron, and I do have to mention it, BTT, because of all of the backlash and the hate surrounding the projects. Now, if you can kind of look past that and see actually the opportunity, I believe those are going to be the people who are able to get a lot of money from these investments, because I believe these investments are going to be here when the smoke clears, and the USDC is not going to support their USDC on Tron and make it the 5th blockchain at that if they feel Tron isn't going to be here. Because as you saw from the CEO of Circle himself, they're choosing these blockchains to expand the adoption of USDC. So why would they put it on Tron if they feel it's going to be going away, right? And so I definitely think this gives Tron that stamp of approval. So if you can get past kind of, the CEO, founder, Justin Sun, and kind of things that's happened in the past, you can really see some opportunity in this investment. All right, future millionaires. So before getting out of here, 4 months ago, I put out a video on Tron, kind of breaking down what is Tron, what is the use case, why I'm invested, and I also kind of gave a price prediction on it as well. So I will highly recommend, checking out that video if you are curious on learning more about the Tron blockchain. And so definitely consider connecting with me on my social platforms on Twitter and Instagram. Be mindful of the spammers out here. If you haven't checked out the Patreon, also check out the link down below where you can get inside access to content. But that is all I got for you. Remember to stay inspired, stay motivated, always invest in yourself, and I'm out.